So that is also a major challenge we have with this project. How is it that a project which we were told by the finance minister, he first announced to the hearing of everybody, to the general public, that it will cost $100 million. Then it went to 150. The secretary to the board of trustees announced that, Reverend Kusi Boateng, who is now beleaguered. Then we were told by the chairman, Reverend Opoku Onyina, who I respect very much, that it's moved to 200 million. Then it went to 250, 300, 350. Inflation at that rate? No, it doesn't. When you calculate it, inflation cannot be the reason. And now, guess what? I have done the analysis. Based on fresh documentation I have arrived at this moment, it is going to cost the Ghanaian taxpayer about $1 billion.
100 million times 10.
Yes. About $1 billion.
For 100 million?
Yes. Can you believe that?
To 10 times of that.
Can you believe that? And $1 billion is what we used to, the Mills Mahama period, used to set up the Ghana Gas Project, which is earning us about $400 million every year. This is what we are doing with it. And
your setting of this figure?
Oh, yes.
Where did you get it
from? Yes, because the $400 million that is talked about, which is a popular figure, I have the documentation here. That is if you look at the contract with Rebadi, it is 383 million, which has been rounded up. But there are so many exclusions.
So Rebadi is the consortium?
No, that is it's a joint venture of the actual contractors. Yes. They are the contractors. Mm-hmm. Now, in the contract, I have cited not less than 10 exclusions, which are not part of that figure.
Share some.
Variations. The Cathedral Secretariat has told them that they want to add biblical gardens and a Bible museum. It was not part of the original concept. So those variations will come at an additional cost. They are talking about a special biblical restaurant. It's going to come at a cost. Professional fees are not part of the 383, which is rounded up to $400 million. Then they are talking about the fees that will be charged upon Ghana when there is a break in construction. And now we've done 10 months already. They say it will come at a fee. So
for parking their tools and leaving site.
Exactly, leaving site.
Because of government's failure, there's money that's supposed to be paid to them.
Exactly. So there are all of this, and I can read that to you. So I told you about professional fees. Then items under consideration, that's excavations, rock. It's not part of the cost. Then there is savings on import duties. Already, the contract says that they are not to pay duties, levies, and taxes.
For bringing in?
Yes. That is another fundamental breach of the Constitution. Only Parliament can grant that waiver. And yet, this National Cathedral Secretariat, I don't know if the Board of Trustees endorsed that, because it's a clear violation of the Constitution. So all of that is excluded. Then, escalation of construction costs due to COVID and global inflation is excluded. Extension of time claims and cost implications of same excluded. Finance charges on unpaid amounts to main contractor is excluded. Standing time claims for main contractor, these standing times. Abortive and rework costs due to main contractor suspension. Already, they have told some of us that because of the long period of suspension, they have to do reworks. All of what has been pumped in is financial loss to the state. They have to do everything again. Then, the museum displays and the fit out. All of this costs you hear, the $400 million, it's just the shell. The content of the museum, what will be put there, because people are not coming to look at an empty building. We say we want to attract tourists from all over the world. Those artifacts and all, it's excluded. So when you add all those things, and it's clear, it's stated in the contract.
How about the transplanting of the trees that were there, the removal of the judges? Have you costed all of that? Is it outside the 400 or inside the 400?
So that is outside the $400 million.
Okay. Let me come back.
And let me continue. It's a tall list. Then you now have to consider the compensation burden on the Ghanaian taxpayer. So the very mindless and reckless decision to site this project at a place where we had so many existing edifices that the president decided to pull down. And now we know, after the Doug Hayward Mills resignation letter, when he said that, look, he had issues with the location, with the choice of the architect, the National Cathedral Secretariat issued a statement in response saying that that was the president's decision. They technically absolved themselves and said that it's the president who decided that we should site this project where it is now. That has been the most reckless decision ever taken by any president. Why do I say that? The cost implications. As we speak, the Scholarship Secretariat has been demolished. And it grieves my heart so much. If you look at the rich history of the Scholarship Secretariat, these are buildings that in other jurisdictions they are preserved. Because you look at the greats, the icons who went through that Scholarship Secretariat, the likes of Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, Professor Mills, Kofi Annan, Professor Nana Jino-Poku-Agyeman, all of these greats who at one point in time in their young life growing up, and we say that we want to boost our Pan-African, tourism potential. Such a building, rich history. People will love to come and see. Elsewhere, they are preserved. They are listed. Even before you carry out any renovation, it's been demolished. We don't know where we are going to site a new Scholarship Secretariat. The Passport Office, demolished. I know as ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee that it has had to cost the government 10 million Ghana cedis to relocate them. Then the judges who were living in that enclave, about 14 of them, Superior Court judges, we have had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars relocating them temporarily at cantonments, paying rent. Now we have to build, and that construction has started. I'm told they are almost done. We are spending millions of Ghana cedis reconstructing permanent bungalows for these judges. You have to add that to the $400 million. It's not part of the $400 million which is bandied about. Then you have to include the fact that the Judicial Training Institute, another very important edifice, rich history, eminent juries of various Commonwealth jurisdictions have come to this Judicial Training Institute from Rwanda to Gambia, Sierra Leone, you name them, including local eminent jurists, trained there. It's been demolished. And guess what? The Chief Justice, I have seen his proposal, $50 million is what it's going to cost us to replace the Judicial Training Institute. So you need to add that. You have to factor that in the equation. Then don't forget, the Malian ambassador had his residence demolished. I have cited the agreement with the Malian government. We've told them we'll relocate them at Airport Residential. You know the cost of land at Airport Residential. And then we say we'll construct a new residence for them. Can you imagine? We are behaving as if we are the richest nation on earth. So you have to add all of this. Then don't forget that there were private companies demolished. The Comsys IT firm, their headquarters was demolished. They are now being temporarily hosted at Labone. They are waiting for their full compensation claims. Then you have another private company called Waterstone Realty. They have a luxury apartment complex. They had employed 180 people who are now all unemployed. All of that new, modern, luxury apartment complex was razed to the ground. Now they are in court. They are the High Court, seeking judgment debt of 120 million Ghana cedis. The last time, and that was before we went into all this exchange rate crisis. I'm sure by now it's hovering around 200 million Ghana cedis. So when you add all of this, it's over $1 billion. I mean, can you believe that? Look, and let me put it in context.
Yes.
You see the celebrated UGMC. It didn't cost us more than $250 million to build the University of Ghana Medical Center.
So 4 times of that.
Yes, Terminal 3 that we celebrate all over. $217 million. So put this in context. I mean, can you believe that?